Well, recently on this show, we told you how the future vegan dictatorship we're all awaiting could ban phrases they find offensive, like bringing home the bacon. Well, it turns out that vegans have indeed been thinking about this for a long time. The animal rights group PETA, which is kind of wacky, but to be totally honest, we don't hate them, has a long list of new idioms it wants people to use. For example, instead of kill two birds with one stone, PETA says you should use the phrase feed two birds with one scone.
Stupid.
What else have they been thinking about at PETA? Ashley Byrne works there. She's a campaign executive, and she joins us today. Ashley, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me, Tucker.
Now, I know a lot of our viewers would agree. I can't hate PETA. You're pro-dog, and you're obviously a little bit demented, but also kind of funny.
They're batshit crazy.
I just cannot resist on this topic. Okay,
and we love that you don't hate us. Thank you.
I hate you.
Look, I'm for anybody who loves dogs. Now, some parts of PETA really are crazy, and for the record, I'm against them. But some of the stuff does make me laugh. So you don't like the phrase "to beat a dead horse," right?
Well,
even though the horse is already
really
dead, so I guess it doesn't really matter, right? But what would you replace it with?
We suggested feed a fed horse.
Stupid.
Feed a fed horse. So overfeed a horse, make a horse fat, is what you're saying. Force feed a horse, kind of like you would a goose for pate. Okay.
That's so dumb.
Feed a fed horse. Okay.
Just as nonsensical as beating a dead horse, right?
You know what? It's a very good point. It's every bit as dumb as the idiom it replaced. Okay, fair enough. Bring home the bacon. Yeah. I kind of like that. But you say what?
Bring home the bagels. And as a New Yorker, I like that.
Stupid.
And as a vegan.
I know.
Good
but
Lord.
There's something a little emasculating about that. I mean, bring home the bacon has a kind of vigorous feel to it. Bring home the bagels. You think that's as powerful?
Dumb.
I don't know where you're getting your bagels, but yeah, absolutely. And I think
fair.
Yeah, and I think when you think about where bacon comes from, it's really not that light. The pork industry is pretty ugly, so absolutely.
Which
bring
I
home the
don't
bagels.
ever think about. I didn't think about it this morning when I ate it. Take the bull by the horns.
And that's why we want to have this conversation. Well,
good point.
Instead of taking the bull by the horns, let's take the rose by the thorns.
What?
And again, it sounds funny, but I think anyone who's ever seen a bullfight, it's grisly, it's awful.
I agree.
It's pretty ugly. Yeah.
I agree. I don't want you to out me as an animal rights whacker, but I'm kind of with you in the bullfighting. It's not really a fair fight. Put your eggs in one basket.
Never a fair fight.
That seems harmless. What's wrong with putting your eggs in one basket?
Put your berries in one basket because unlike eggs, berries don't come from chickens who live crammed into little cages where they can't turn around and defecating on one another. Again, the egg industry, it's when you peek behind the scenes, you find cruelty, you find abuse, and so
I know, but we're talking language here.
These idiots are going to try to make us all vegan.
And somebody says, "Look, I'm just worried about putting all our berries in one bowl." Everyone would turn in silent horror at that person and saying, "You know what? You're just a tool. You can't work here," right?
I don't think so. I think language evolves with our values, and again, we're having fun with this, and I think it's cheeky. It's fun. I think people like these.
So I'm going to leave you on the last one. More than one way to skin a cat. And by the way, I hate changing language, but that's one phrase I think I'm open to changing. Because what is that? But what would you replace it with?
I think most of us don't like that. We would say more than one way to peel a potato.
Huh? Oh, dumb.
I mean, I sort of admire the spirit of some of this. And by the way, I'm not worried that there's ever going to be a vegan dictatorship. It just doesn't sound plausible, so I don't think you're going to force us to do this. But you're going to do better than peel a potato. But anyway,
that's the great thing. We don't want to force anyone, but we
yes,
we
you
do.
do.
Think that most people
I know. You're not about force. That's what I like about you. Ashley Byrne, right on time. It's great to see you. Thank you.
Dumb.